Hi guys, this is going to be an introduction class on how to make a Hobo stove to do your basic cooking that needs without having to spend $60 on a new modern one versus the old Hobo stoves from Boy Scout days before. We can make our own for a $2.99 can of coffee. So stand by and my assistant here is going to help me out. We're going to make one for you and go step by step. And then we'll try to answer all the questions you've got. Okay, so basically this is a $2.99 can of coffee. Keep the lid so you can store your energy source in there. At the end of this video, we're going to do another one and show you how to make your energy source. It could be wood or it could be a burn pot.
So chock full of nuts makes a metal can, and you can get this here. And as Mr. Alicia just said, the burners work both ways. You could put the source in here, or you could put a pan on top, fill it with wood, and have a fire inside.
All right, and what that does is keeps down the fires. It's quick if you're cold, you need something hot real fast. You don't want to make a big fire. It's lightweight to carry and very cheap to replace. So we're going to go through this stuff and show you how to make it in a matter of a few minutes. Okay, so first of all, you gotta get the pot. Any food store, $2.99 for a coffee pot. Keep your coffee. Pass it along.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a regular razor blade. We are going to cut the label. Be very careful. Obviously, we got to be careful when we're using knives. We're going to cut the label off of the can so that we're going to expose the metal on the can. Roll it off as best as possible. And then what we're going to use is a old school can opener. And what we're going to do, we're going to start with, we're going to go around, and what I did is I just started on one, did it on the direct opposite side, and then quartered it, and then quartered it again. So you put a total of eight holes in here, and you're going to put the can opener on the top, and you're going to fold it all the way in so that inside, the metal inside goes all the way up to the top. Now this is sharp, so just be careful when you start this, that this is definitely, when you open these cans, they're definitely sharp. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting my can in. I'm just being careful. I don't want to dent the can too much, but I'm just going in, and then I'm going all the way up. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around, get somewhat on the center, and then do it again. And then again, push it all the way up so it's up on the top here. And then I'm going to do about, so I got here and here. I'm going to do it again over here. Now there is a seam in this can, and you want to kind of stay away from the seam because it will be a little bit more difficult to puncture the can at the seam. So I've done 4, and now I'm just going to do 1 in the middle of each hole. Okay, so I've done it on the top, done it all the way around. This will allow when the fire goes up here in the can, that this is where the exhaust comes out, and you'll put your cooking pot on the top here, like that. Okay, now on the bottom what I did is, so it is kind of a tight fit when you got the burner that we'll talk about in a minute. You have to put it up inside here. So what I did here, I found that I didn't go all the way. What I did is I just started a little bit, and then I created a smaller hole, and then I got out a pair of gloves so I don't cut myself. And I took the shard, so there's a shard in here, it's bent over, it's very sharp. And what I did is I just took it and I bent it down, and I got it under the lip of the stove. So it creates a smaller hole, but it's also, I'm pushing the sharp edge into the stove so you don't get cut. So we're going to go around and we're going to put all those in here. And then the last thing that we did is we took a drill. Now I got 2 drill bits here. I'm going to start with a smaller one. And all I'm going to do is on the ridge, one of these ridges in here, I'm just going to drill a small hole. And I'm going to put a couple in.
Now these serve as vent holes to allow air oxygen to get inside to burn the fire better when you're using wood. And then we'll try to use a regular source, a heat source, rather than wood.
And then you don't want to start out with a bigger drill. Because if you start out with a bigger drill, it's going to be very hard to keep the drill from wandering on the tin can. So start with a smaller drill, and then work your way up. You don't have to get too carried away with this. One of the other things you can do too is take a file once you're done, and some of these sharp edges, take a file and just file them off to make it a little bit more safe. So yeah, so we're going to go around here. We're going to put in another can on the bottom. Now, when you're doing it on the bottom here, you got to be kind of careful, otherwise you'll dent the can because the bottom of the can tends to bend. So even if you put your hand in underneath here, and again, just start and maybe go halfway down, and then with your finger, with a glove on, a safety glove, bend the finger under here. This is what I found worked pretty good. And I'm going to go around and we're going to do all these, and we'll be back.
Or you can use a new pair of needle nose pliers for safety too. If you don't have gloves, needle nose pliers, put in there, reach down and squeeze them in. Get them out of the way. Thank you, Mike.